So welcome to this week's Hail to the Gamers. This is episode 2, where we'll be discussing the console wars, because I know everyone here has been dying to hear about all our feelings on the console wars. So first let me introduce everybody here, and they'll give how long they've been on game trailers and what platform they're going to be representing this week. So first we have San12.
Hi, I'm San12. I'm going to be supporting the PlayStation 3. And I've been on GT since September last year.
Then we have That Special Someone.
That Special Someone, I'm supporting the 360, and I've been on GT since 2007.
And then we have God.
Hey, I'm God. I've been on GT since 2005, and I'm kind of supporting whatever I feel like.
Then we have Taurus Oxford.
Taurus Oxford here. I've been a member of GT ever since April 2007, and I am supporting the Wii.
Okay, so now first we're going to get into what platform each one of us chose and why we feel it is the best one. So first we're going to head to San12. What did you choose and why is it the best platform?
Well, I chose the PlayStation 3. I think, in general, you've got to look at the long term. You can't just look at what it has now or how it's done for the last year or anything like that. You've got to think about how good an experience are you going to get from your console from now until we go into a whole new generation. And PlayStation 3 is the best platform for that, in my opinion. I think it really is the best platform. Sony are taking a long-term view of things. They haven't rushed all their games out. I mean, you look at the next 2 years, you look at the PlayStation 3 until the end of 2009, it's got great racing games, great action games, great first-person shooters, great role-playing games. It's got huge blockbuster titles like Metal Gear Solid 4, Gran Turismo 5, and the great thing is that they're still coming out with new IPs. I mean, things like 8 Days, Heavy Rain. I mean, we may not know much about them, but these are going to keep the PlayStation going well into 2009, and of course you've got to consider the sequels to the great new IPs that were started in 2007, things like Uncharted, Resistance, Heavenly Sword, that kind of thing. So I think over the next however many years it is until the next console generation, the PlayStation 3 is going to prove itself the best console.
Okay, now That Special Someone, what did you choose?
I chose the 360 first. When I got it in 2006, at the time I thought it was the best console, and I still do at the moment, because when it came out, I thought it had the best games. For example, like Gears of War. I thought that was one of the greatest games of 2006. And I think it has a very solid lineup of games at the moment, such as like Oblivion, Halo 3, and it has many multi-platform games like Call of Duty 4 and Mass Effect that are really keeping the system steady. And of course, Xbox Live is, in my opinion, the best online out of any console at the moment, such as integrated friends list, which the PS3 doesn't have at the moment, and like in-game game guide. And it just has the best online at a pretty small price, I believe, and that's just why I chose the 360 out of all.
Okay, so God, what have you decided to choose this time?
Oh, it's a hard choice. I'll just pick the Wii here. I'll go with Oxford. So I'll let him continue, I guess, and I'll supplement if needed.
Okay, so Taurus Oxford, you chose the Wii, we all know. So why is the Wii the best console out there?
Well, it is the cheapest, so in terms of people who are willing to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a system, it's the most attractive one price points. And even though it doesn't really have all the same games that the PS3 and the 360 have, it does have its own great exclusives like Metroid Prime 3, which is pretty much the best FPS controls ever. And Super Mario Galaxy, greatest game of last year. And yeah, it has a ton of like crappy shovelware on it, but it does have a few third-party gems like No More Heroes and Zack and Wiki. And the Virtual Console lineup is just like instant classic for those who want to relive all their 8 and 16-bit, memorabilia. And we also have WiiWare coming out soon, which is just going to be filled with lots of great games for low prices. And overall, it just appeals to a much bigger audience than 360 and PS3 ever will. And overall, I just think that's going to let it speed a victor of the console wars.
God, do you have anything to add to that?
Not at the current moment.
I think
if God has anything to say.
Yeah, I was asking if God had anything to say.
You ain't God now. Shut up. Anyway, yeah, I just have to say the controls are probably the best for most games. There are some games that would use a more classic control pad and would probably be better control-wise, but otherwise, I agree. I guess I don't got anything else to say right now.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be representing the PC on here. I know a lot of you don't think of it as a console, but that's why I'm just going to include all the gaming aspects of PC, not any of the other stuff it does. And I feel it's the best because, for me, it ends up being the cheapest. I've only spent $600 on my PC, and I haven't had to pay for online, which would have cost me a bundle. I know for some of you, $50 a month isn't that bad, but for me it is. So that's why I've chosen it. Plus, I'm a big FPS and RPG fan, so I feel the best ones are on the PC. And I just basically love having just one thing, My PC is pretty small, so I have it out in my room and usually hooked up to my TV, so I use it just like a console to play games, and I just feel it's the best one. Money-wise, game-wise, everything, so that's kind of why I've chosen the PC for now. Okay, so now that we've gotten all our feelings and we know who's representing what system, I'd like to open this up just as a debate, so whatever you guys want to feel, whatever you want to say, if you have something to say to another user about their system, go ahead and just let it out. Whoever wants to go first.
I'll go first. I want to ask special someone something. You like the 360 is your favorite. Have you ever experienced the dreaded ROD yet?
Yes, I have actually twice. But for both systems,
Ooh.
I had an in-store warranty. Actually, I had an in-store warranty for the second system.
Oh.
For the first one, I just did a towel trick, and I tricked the idiots at GameStop, and I got an Elite. And then that'll the ROD. And I have an Elite right now. The one that's not broken.
Nice. Oh, actually...
Sorry, you go first?
I was just going to ask him, how does he manage to pay for live? How does he deal with that and stuff?
For live, I've done a lot of odd jobs and in the past, and I usually manage up to get enough money to buy my gaming devices. And for live, I just buy a card once my live runs out. But it's really annoying for whenever live runs out, and I don't have money at the moment, and so I'm just left without online for the 360, so I just have to use my computer or my PS3 to play online.
Doesn't it kind of annoy you, though? I know people argue that, PS3 has no games and Wii has crappy graphics, but, at least our work on a consistent basis. Doesn't it kind of annoy you that any time of any day, 360 is just going to brick?
Yeah, it annoys me a lot because they didn't really properly test the hardware of this. Whenever the first time it broke, I was playing Oblivion in the middle of a quest, and I had been playing it for 5 hours straight, and then I saw the red light, and I was very, very angry.
Well, I want to ask God and Taurus Oxford something now about the Wii. What do you feel about how most of the games, aside from Metroid Prime 3 and aside from Wii Sports, how do you feel about all the games having like horrible controls as far as like the Wii remote goes? I mean, I know you said you like the controls, but all the games I played, I mean, I'd much rather have played them with a regular control pad. It just felt gimmicky and just tacked on. So how do you feel about that?
Well, not all of them are tacked on. I mean, like No More Heroes, that's like the perfect combination of like classic controllers and the nice motion controls, and for games like Super Smash Bros. Brawl and Mario Kart Wii, yeah, it has motion controls, but they're not forcing you to use them. I mean, you can use the classic controller or the GameCube controller even. So to give you options.
Yeah, I think what they're doing is after the first years of experimenting, or 2 years of experimenting with different games, I think that they're going to more of give the user a choice of what they want to do. Use the Wiimote and maybe get a little bit extra out, or use a classic controller and play with a little bit more from ease of use, I guess, for some games.
I'd like to add something. It also depends on the developer how much work it put on making a Wii game. Like, for example, I thought Zack and Miki had some great, easy, intuitive controls, and so did No More Heroes. And Medal of Honor Heroes 2 on the Wii had great shooter controls. So, and then there's developers who are trying to make a quick buck and make terrible games, and that gives the Wii a bad, people will look at the Wii as being bad because of some of the shovelware that goes on the system.
Yeah, that's always an annoyance.
Actually, I do have a question for Washed. A lot of people talk about the PC having the best control system with the mouse and keyboard. I mean, certainly that's always been true in the past for first-person shooters and real-time strategy games, certainly. But something Taurus Oxford said about Metroid Prime having the best first-person shooter controls just made me think, do you feel that maybe in the future alternative control systems that are being developed for the consoles might equal or even exceed the mouse and keyboard?
As far as the Wii controls, I played Metroid Prime 3, and I played a few other games, shooter games on the Wii, and I don't know, for me it felt fun, kind of to play, but I don't see it ever, dominating the mouse and keyboard. I'd have to wait to see till they, maybe have a cross-platform play of Wii versus PC, so we can see, maybe the Wii controls are the better controls, but I don't know, for me it just kind of felt like I'd much rather point and click with the mouse on a solid surface than moving it all over the place, because it kind of felt too jerky. I don't know, maybe if they improve it next gen, maybe if the sensors are better, that was probably one of the biggest problems. It was a little too twitchy for me in some parts. Maybe if the sensors were done a little better, and maybe if they found some way to make the movement controls a little better, I could see it maybe rivaling the mouse and keyboard if that's possible. I could see that.
Well, I do agree that the mouse and keyboard is a superior control system for some games, like RTS games, because I still laugh over Halo Wars being put on 360. As a friend of mine who owns a PS3 would say, RTS plus console equals fail.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
you go first.
Okay, I was just going to say, some of the RTS controls have been tweaked and actually end up being a little bit better on the consoles. I don't know if you've seen Supreme Commander. I'm a little bit ticked about that, how we really still haven't seen an update for the PC one. They made the interface a little better with the expansion pack, but the 360 version of it, the interface has been changed a lot, and it looks much more streamlined and much easier to use for me. So I don't know. Sometimes Sometimes RTS games work on there. Like Supreme Commander looks like it's going to be awesome, but I still think they should stick to the PC. You could do a lot more with it, and there's much more shortcuts and everything you could use. But I mean, it's never bad on a console.
I got a question for Stan 12 now. You're doing PS3, right?
Yep.
A lot of people say on, for Xbox Live that, they're paying $50 a year for it, but they're getting a much superior service. What's your opinion on, comparing the 360 online to PS3 online? Is it catching up to Xbox Live, or is it still struggling?
Well, in terms of catching up, I don't think that's the right phrase to use. There's the PlayStation Network, although there have been many firmware updates and that kind of thing, is still essentially the same service that it was a year ago. It's still, sadly, it is still lacking basic features like a way of messaging people in a game, a way of reading your messages, things like that. And something I would like to see, the ability to play your own music while you're gaming. But the thing is, Sony have already said that they are working on this stuff, and obviously we can't know when it's going to arrive, but it will arrive. And when the PlayStation Network has in-game cross-media bar, when it has the trophy system, and I know this is a controversial issue for a lot of gamers, but when it has home, then I think the PlayStation Network will be able to do everything Xbox Live can do and more, and it will still be free. So I think that's a big thing that people have to remember.
I just want to hear what you guys think. Like, what do you hate about each of the other systems? I just want to say, first off, personally for me, the PS3, I just hate mainly the ports on it. I don't like, the fact that most of the ports are been pretty crappy. That and most of the games on it don't exactly excite me. I find better options on the PC, as far as most of the games. There's only been a few that have really, interested me, what was that? The fantasy game that they had a while back,
Folklore.
Yeah.
Was that it?
Wait, which one?
Folklore.
Yeah, Folklore. That was probably the only game that's actually interested me on the PS3. I mean, Uncharted was decent, but it didn't really interest me. Move on to the 360. I don't want to have to pay for Live. I mean, I've been online gaming for 10 years, and I don't want to start paying for it now just to, it offers nothing new to me. And I'm worried about Red Rings of Death and all that stuff, and all the stuff you have to buy anyways ends up being costly, and I don't have that. And to the Wii, again, there's no games that interest me. I mean, I could probably last with Wii Sports the entire time, but that'd be a waste of $250. So that's what I don't like about each system. So, Sand, what do you feel about the other two systems? 3.
Well, in terms of the 360, I suppose really, I mean, yes, you can talk about the Red Ring of Death and specific things, but it's more the attitude. Like, they're not testing the hardware properly. They're getting lots of games for whatever genre they think is going to sell more, or all this kind of stuff. I just get the feeling that Microsoft has it's not even that it doesn't support its customers, it just has no respect for them. For the Wii, I kind of feel, yes, it does have a few good hardcore games, but the vast majority of it is just shovelware. And in the future, I am actually worried that the Wii could end up damaging hardcore gaming as a result. And for the PC, I almost feel like there's more of an emphasis on hardware than on the actual games. I feel like even though the PC does have good games, like some games like Half-Life and the Total War series, there are so many games on the PC that are just about pushing technical limits and not about good game design. So that's my feelings on the other 3 platforms.
So that special someone, what are your takes on the other systems? What do you hate about them?
Let's see. I like all the systems right now, but my main problem with the Wii is probably that there is far too much shovelware on the system, and also that whenever good games actually come out, such as No More Heroes and Zack and Wiki, which are really good for being third-party games, they don't get as much critical acclaim as they should be getting. Like, they just seem forgotten, they don't sell as well as casual games, for example, like Carnival games would. And that's just something that the Wii really, developers need to really work hard on the Wii to actually have the game sell. And also, I don't like the fact that the Virtual Console, some games cost way too much, especially for the quality. For like example, some NES games should not be costing at $5, or maybe a little bit less would be better. Or also like the fact that before the Virtual Console, developers were getting no money for the games. So if you bought them by used at a online store or something, they wouldn't see money for it. So I really saw no problem in downloading ROMs for my computer. So I think the Virtual Console is a little bit too overpriced. Now for the PS3, I don't like how some of its games, the ports from the 360, are inferior, like have glitches, graphically inferior, and also I have some problems with the online. For example, Warhawk. Whenever I play Warhawk, rarely anybody ever has a microphone. So I'm just sitting there like saying, is anyone there for 5 minutes? And I think that's kind of a Sony's fault for not including a microphone on the system. Like the Xbox has a headset for the Pro and Elite models, but the PS3 has no headset for any models. And one thing I don't like really about the PC, I love shooters, play my favorite genre, but the PS3 doesn't have that much variety. Like, it has like the best shooters, RTSs, and MMOs. But like, if I want to play like a platformer or a hack and slash, I usually go with like a PlayStation or a Nintendo system.
Yeah, now, God, what is your take on each? I'll get to you first.
Well, first, the PC is probably my second favorite system. It's basically it's all torrents for me. I'm not gonna lie here.
Oh, come on.
I probably haven't bought a PC game in over a year. You know, it's just free and easy to get. And what else could you want? I still occasionally will buy a game and support the developers, but only if it's something that's going to last me more than a couple hours. As far as the PS3 is concerned, it's just too pricey for me overall. I mean, what, $500 for basic? Or
400 at the moment.
400, sorry. $400 is something that I don't want to spend at the moment. And, you know, if it's maybe $100 less, I'd give it a chance. Otherwise, you know, it has free online service, which is, in my opinion, better than what the 360 has. And that's all that I really can say about the PS3. And my thoughts on the 360 is, you know, it's cheaper than the PS3, but lack of reliability. You have to pay for online service, which you really don't have to pay for with any other console. You know, it has some nice integrated community features, but I wouldn't pay extra for that, especially if it's like the PC can do much of those features the same with free clients and whatnot. So in order of what I'd buy first, instead of a Wii, I get a better PC, and then a PS3 if it's cheaper, and then a 360. So that's my take.
Okay, now on to you, Taurus Oxford. What do you hate about the other systems?
Well, my problem with PC is that it's just like really too much of a hassle for me to like keep upgrading it. Like if I want to like play new games that my current setup would not be able to play, like my computer basically chugs just like trying to play Oblivion. And really, like anything that's on PC is on 360 anyway, so I don't really even see the point of like owning a great PC. You've got a 360. And that said, on the 360, it's, well, as you guys said, there's just no reliability in it. I don't want to, like, it's cheaper than the PS3, but I don't want to have to spend $300 on a brick. And, yeah, it has a 3-year warranty, but I shouldn't have to go through that kind of hassle because they don't want to test their hardware. And really, both systems, PC and 360, most of them just like generally have like games I don't like first-person shooters, and yeah, like Metroid, but that's more first-person adventure. And RTSs, I just don't like those kind of games. Now, PS3, yeah, it's a little too pricey for me at the moment for the lack of games that it has. And yeah, I know in the future it will have more games, and maybe then I'll actually consider a purchase, but at the moment it's just like too far beyond my price range.
Alright, thanks for that and everything. So now we're going to take some user questions. This one is from Viper. He's asking, do you ever think that we're going to see a clear winner in this in the console wars? And my personal opinion is that I don't think we're going to see a clear winner. I'm not going to say which system I think is going to come out on top, but I think we're not going to see a clear winner. I think it's going to be close, but I think there will be one system that at the end is just going to, everyone's going to say, this is the system that did the best last generation. This is the system that, is still going on today. So what about you, Stan? What do you think?
Well, I think it is possible that there will be a clear winner. Don't forget that even if you look at the number of consoles sold this generation and you look at the number of consoles sold last generation, there's probably between 80 and 90 million people who haven't got a next-gen system yet. And that's not including the many, many people who are being brought into gaming by the Nintendo Wii. So if at some point soon one console establishes itself as clearly better than the other two, then I think we could see a very clear winner. At the same time, the odds of that happening at this stage, I think, are pretty slim. All three consoles are doing well. All of them are appealing to a pretty broad target audience. I think in the end, yeah, you can argue about whether the PS3 will be supported for longer and that kind of thing, but in the end, I think each of these three consoles will probably end up in roughly the same place.
That special someone, you think we're ever going to see a clear winner?
Let's see, for example, in terms of quantity and units sold, I believe the Wii will be a winner in terms of sales. And that's because I know many parents and grandparents who bought a Wii for themselves. And whenever I was at the Wii launch, pretty much everybody that was there were hardcore Nintendo fans that had been with Nintendo for a long time. And then in the months following up, when the Wii was gaining steam, a lot of people were asking me if they wanted me to sell my